This is day 348 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is being sponsored by her son, Lilu Nishmas Chanafego Basienta. May the Neshama have a schus from the Shir and an Aliyah. If you'd like to sponsor an upcoming Shir or more of an Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Reish Mem Dalet Sif Chav Dalet, the last Sif in Reish Mem Dalet, and going on to Reish Mem Hey Sif Vav. The Chav Dalet Amnam Baskim She'i Efshar Raka De Schibre Yom, commercial activities which is only possible to do based on day workers, such as in wineries, saraf, whiskey manufacture, sheikh or beer manufacture, but they door so to people who have a franchise for a post office from the government, susim, and those who have stables of horses to hire. There is no remedy. We're required to keep our animals at rest at B'Shabbos. And certainly people who have factories, where they manufacture all sorts of goods. Then you have to hire people by the day, by the hour. There's no remedy. Only if by the sale of the entire business to a non-Jew with an effective kinyan for, of course, not the totally, but for the days of Shabbos and Yom. Even though it's being done publicly, but everybody knows it belongs to Jew. Come mutter. That was permissible. The Kfar Nisbar already has explained the Malcolm have seen move in place of great loss. Ein choshin maris ayin. We're not concerned with what it looks like. Darbo. They should not do it in the house where a Jew lives. And this is now the custom in all countries to make documents of sale on all the businesses which have to do with sharecropping fields. Sheav Shabbos Kibolas Kamuvan. Well, not sharecropping. The other thing, not where you get where he gets he gives a set amount. Chakiros is when he gets the sharecropper, so to speak, gets a certain fixed share, and everything else goes to Balabais. You have to sell the horses and the animals which were used to do the work on Shabbos. How you make the sale, I can't explain here. There are many halachas in Borim B'Chosh Mishnah that are explained. Chosh Rav HaKahila. You have to make the Mishtar Mechira by the Rav of the congregation. For Rav Yadialo, and the Rav will tell him what to do. Especially you have to tell them it doesn't work for any future, any animals he acquires in the future. It only works for ones he possesses now. What he buys afterwards is not effective with that. So you have to do then a new sale. I'd assume lots and lots of business owners don't know that when their business changes, they have to do a new sale. If they have new equipment, for example, that new equipment has to be sold. It has to do a new sale for that new equipment. Years ago when I was learning in Israel, there was a Shomer Shabbos glass firm called Kaplan Gas, and probably know it's there today still. And on Shabbos, they had a shtar mechira because glass has to be 24 hours for emergencies, and they sold it for every Shabbos, and they had different signs for the trucks on Shabbos, which Arukh HaShulchan say is not necessary because we make a Marasayim, we have some room, but of course it's a wonderful chumrah to have. And on Shabbos it was service, Yontif as well, it was service glass as opposed to Kaplan glass. So I took away the Maris Ayin issue. But Again, let's say that they bought a new truck, and this new truck was used by the non-Jew on Shabbos. Because that new truck would have to be sold. Now, it's true, there's no, on the other hand, there's no thing of Shvisas Kalim, as we know, only Shvisas Behemto. So Shvisas Behemto, that's more Chamor. But the question is, and I'm thinking out loud, because I've never been involved in doing a Shtar Mechira, whether perhaps for a piece of equipment, it's not necessary as long as he rents it out, as opposed for an animal. That's probably the case, and I withdraw what I said about not having to do necessarily a new sale when they acquire any piece of equipment. Okay, but it's a fascinating topic, and it's one which is very, very relevant in Bisman Hazeh, because many businesses must stay open on Shabbos because of the nature of commerce in the 21st century. Reish Mamei, you saw Bein Yehuda Shutfim Be'esek. You have a Jew and a non-Jew who are partners in a business concern. Echis Nagu Bein and Shabbos Yom Tovim, how should they conduct themselves on Shabbos and Yom Tov? The Simon Economy, in the previous Simonim, these Barut al Kiboles, we explained that based on contracting, a Jew can allow a non-Jew to do work on Shabbos. When he's a contractor, he's doing it on his own cognizance. The exception being with something which is connected to the ground, the ration without Sifim Beis Gimel. That's when the commercial concern belongs solely to the Jew. But if a Jew and a non-Jew have a partnership in a commercial endeavor, then they can't do it. There's no contracting in such a case. Don't be astounded at this. What would be the source of astonishment? Because the non-Jew has a actual ownership in the business itself. That makes it worse. I can say that makes it worse. It's counterintuitive, right? No, says Arukh, that's the logic. When the business belongs to the Jew alone, and he rents it out on a contractual basis, the non-Jew is not his agent. He's doing it on his own cognizance. Says Simon Rishman Gimel Siv Ches. But they said that the Jew makes money off of this. And it's automatic. Like you were there. But two partners who have a business together. They both have to work for the business. And if the non-Jew works on solo on Shabbos, he would certainly want the Jew to do the work on a different day instead of him, to compensate for the work he does for the Jew on Shabbos. It's literally, you do it for me on Shabbos. I'll do it for you on Sunday. So then the non-Jew becomes his shliach on Shabbos. There are a lot of details here. Makes them say the business actually belongs to them, or they rented out this business from somebody else. That they should run in partnership. The substitute violent houses, they're partners and agents of each other. Beis, you saw about a Jew and a non-Jew who took a field in partnership. The Jew can't tell non-Jew, you take your part on Shabbos, I'll take my part on weekday. Because the non-Jew then becomes the shliach for the Jew for the half day which the Jew should have done on Shabbos. But if they stipulated originally before they started the deal, that's okay. What does that mean? Before they undertook the business endeavor, he stipulated with him, Shabbos belongs to you. And Sunday belongs to me. Mutter, that's okay. He never accepted upon himself the ownership of the business for Shabbos. Therefore, non-Jew is not a shliach. V'im bol cheshbon asur. But if they made a reckoning, it's forbidden. Perish Rashi, Dachi Perusha. Rashi explains, Kshelo itnu mitchila, they didn't stipulate initially, El Kiblu Stam, they accepted this business deal generically. Also, Akum B'Shab, so Akum B'Shabbos, so B'chol, and the non-Jew work on Shabbos, and the Jew on weekday. Uvol Cheshbon Achazman, and after some time elapsed, they came to make a reckoning. Lomar Kami made Shabbos Natal Tata, how many days of Shabbos did you take? But he token and I'll take corresponding to him weekdays. Also, it's forbidden. This Schar Shabbos is not the Akal Lashona because he's taking wages of Shabbos. That's the end of Rashi, and the Arukh HaShulchan explains. You can't retrospectively make the days of Shabbos that they belong to the non-Jew Levado alone. And you, the Jew, will have one of the weekdays alone. Because since you made a generic partnership to begin with, they are, no matter whether they like it or not, they are partners in all the days. And the non-Jew becomes your shaliach on Shabbos. Some say that when it says, if they come directly in Kaya, it's even going when they stipulated to begin with. Your Shabbos, I'm a weekday. Okay, Pirusha. It means to say that even they stipulated initially, nevertheless, when they come to reckoning, they just divided the profits evenly. Also, it's forbidden. Because since the non-Jew is not talking, is identifiable profits for Shabbos, whether they're more or less. And in correspondence, the Jew did not take a weekday, whether it's worth more or less. It comes out that Roma Bamo, it's just a ruse. It's not real. In their condition. This is from the Ran and the Ravid. The Gam Rashi Enoch Gazette. Rashi doesn't disagree with this. The Vadai, the Bahistu Mitchila Bechrech. We could say that it's necessary when they made a stipulation between which that each day, each one should take the profit of his day. Hein Rav, Hein Harbe Beimat, whether it's a lot or a little. But Rashi appears to Alois. Rashi says that the one is going in case we didn't make a condition. Stipulation. Because they didn't make an addition, then even if it comes out Lamaisa, one takes Shabbos, one takes a weekday, it's not effective. It's still forbidden. And of course, the other opinion agrees with this as well. Ram lights is similar to Rashi. We will see in the next sif. However, nobody's arguing. I wrote the source and we wrote the Rambam Mutter Behisnu Lachlok B'Shaveh. Ram, it's permissible if they stipulate to divide 50-50. Lo Pirish Hach Dim Bol Cheshbon. Since they didn't specify this thing that if they come to the reckoning, Hitnu on the condition. Ufi said Rashi's working. According to Rashi also this way. We'll hold this way that if they made it tonight to divide up evenly, without saying we're going to make a reckoning later on, so then that would be effective. According to what we said, we should make a Moses ben a Paiskim. And they made a stipulation, you're not allowed to divide up 50-50. That what you said, we didn't make a condition, and then which is less of a chiddush that it's also. That's because by lo hitnu, even if they where they didn't make a stipulation, even if later on they try and rectify it retroactively, it's too late. They can't do it. He says. This is whoever is theme of this is Marich. I guess it's Chuma Sadeshan, and the Bach was Doichel Chuma Sadeshan, and the Taz agrees with Chuma Sadeshan. Anyway, he says, all these barbers have Siyad Shmai Steve Hey, the Yesh Lohakel Ayin Sham. I guess we're going to come up with a Kula in Steve Hey, but right now we're in Steve Dalit. Rambam Shom. This is the language of Rambam. Hamishtatef im akum b'melacha b'schera b'chanus. Somebody makes a partnership with a non-Jew in certain type of work, or in commerce, or in a store. If they made a stipulation to begin with, she has schar Shabbos akum levado. The schar Shabbos should be only for the non-Jew. Whether it's a little or a lot. Schar yom echa keneged yom HaShabbos, and the profit of one day corresponding to Shabbos. L'Yisrael Bada will be for a Jew himself alone. Mutar, that is permissible. If they didn't make a stipulation to begin with, when they come to divide up, no tell Hakum Schar Shabbos Kulan Levado. The non-Jew takes the profit of all the Shabbosos. By Shar Chokinos, on the rest they divide up 50-50. Okay, in other words, no 50-50, including Shabbos, 50-50 without Shabbos. This way, below now, how you saw Shabbos, the brackets. Below now, you saw Shabbos, a Jew won't get any hanoah from Shabbos. Okay? He doesn't add, he can't add for him. The non-Jew can't give anything corresponding to Shabbos to the Jew unless they stipulate ahead of time that arrangement of you Shabbos and me a weekday. If they accepted a field as a partnership, it's the same halacha. If they didn't make addition and they come to divide up the profits, but they don't know how much they made on every Shabbos. So he has a leniency. They can just give the non-Jew 1/7 of all the profits, and then the rest they divide 50-50. Well, the same thing. It's clear, says Arukh HaShulchan, the way he wrote 1/7 of the profit. That's something where the profit is the same every day. But in a store and something similar, where there's a special market day once a week, when you make more money the whole week, you don't have to reckon it that way. But rather give him 1/6 of the days which are not market days. I exclude the market day. There's a leniency, obviously. Mishnah Berurah. So the Mishnah Berurah here says, in the previous, if I missed this one, the Biur Halacha says that they don't have to say explicitly imat imarbei, as long as they say Shabbos me another day to you. The Shmuel writes here that the Beis Yosef is talking about in a manner that the non-Jew acquiesced that Chalukah would be even. That we saw previously. The non-Jew acquiesced that the Chalukah would be even. That is where there's no making of the cheshbon later on, where there's no bol cheshbon to find out which of these 2 days, Shabbos and the non-Jews weekday, had what profits. But if they come to make a cheshbon, that the Jew says at the time they're dividing up, you took on Shabbos 100, I'm taking, you got 100 for Shabbos, and I only got 50 for a weekday. Make it up to me the difference. Then the non-Jew made up to make it up for him. The Magen Avram says, like the Ravid, that this is Aser, and there are those who Mako, and the Yerabba leaves it as Tarchir. I don't see how you can be Mako, because that makes the whole thing a ruse. I mean, we're supposed to be honest. Whatever made that day, you should be able to. That's it. You had Harbe Omat, whether you specify it or not. So I'm not sure why there'll be any leniency in this respect. Hey, Rambam we said that Rashi and Rambam both concede to the opinion that even when they made a stipulation, if they didn't come to divide up shaveh b'shaveh, it's also. If you made a prior stipulation, it's okay to divide later divide up 50-50. We could say Rashi Rambam feel again. Even Rashi Rambam agree with this. According to this, it makes we can understand the easy of the Beis Yosef. See, Beis Kosav is Eloshano. When they made a condition to begin with, if the non-Jew agrees to divide 50-50, mutter is permissible. It's permissible. I see. I made a mistake before. The Mishnah was going on this, and on this he says that it's only permissible if you don't make a cheshbon of the rebach of the 2 days. But if you make a cheshbon of the rebach and you say I got 50, you got 100, make me a difference. That's when it's awesome. Okay, I got the place mixed up. Sorry. So anyway, Vamina the Matani you have late. Why? Because we say the non-Jew is giving him a gift. Okay, I would say that would be the reason. Now I understand for those who are Mako, because they say it's a gift which the non-Jew is foregoing to the Jew, a bitur, which is okay. The brackets here says, "V'asi shaber b'saka b'yisoytzev afilu shelo divrei the Maharit," because it works even not according to the Chumash Sedeshin. Kever Rashi Rambam ein achreya. There's no clear understanding of the Rashi Rambam. The Rabbi Isa, the Rabbi is going to forbid it. The Kevan Shatez Mekilin, the faces are lenient, but Isa the Rabbanon, and the prohibition is but the Rabbanon in any event. Holding Loko, we can be lenient. But the Rosh Vades Filei Kmoshi's King Kmoshi's Bar, and the Rosh also is certainly lenient. But a trailer Gabi Chad, so it's the Rosh and the Rosh and the Tosfos against the Ravid in terms of people whose opinions are explicit. Vav Isa Shemek Mori Boilu. Question: Stoma Mai. There were no stipulations. There's no resolution in the Gemara. Peish Rashi Stoma. Shkiblu Stam. They accepted the business without making stipulations. Vosa Stam, and they run the business without stipulations. Akum Shabbos is Shabbos Shabbos. The non-Jew on Shabbos and the Jew on Sunday. V'lomai Yisom Elam. The Jew never said Torah Torah Shabbos Ani B'chol. You take Shabbos. I'll take weekday. Ma'al Lachlok Stam B'Shabbat. And they later divide up even. Lo Yasker is also Shabbos, and the Jew won't mention Shabbos. Arukh HaShulchan saying a quote from Rashi. B'yad Dvarim means to say the Shema Eina Yisrael Omer Lo Torah Torah B'Shabbos Ani B'chol. Made a prohibition only when you say explicitly, you take Shabbos and I take a weekday. But the Zel Koim before, because that's like saying explicitly, hey, Yesh Luchi B'Shabbos, you be my agent on Shabbos. But Yesh Luchi B'Chol, I'll be your agent on a weekday. But with generic, without any specification, everybody knows. The Jew can't do commercial activity on Shabbos, even through an agent. When we mail it, so the non-Jew knows I'm doing it for myself on Shabbos. So he knows that the non-Jew is not allowed to get any benefit on Shabbos. But the Jew does himself for a weekday. Even though they don't make a cheshbon, how much is Shabbos, how much is weekday, that they should divide up that way. And they're similar to what we said about Matana in the previous sif. The Shutim, they're not meticulous about precise divisions, and Rivachim Zelazan are willing to forego the small amounts to each other, and therefore we could say, Bistam, it's as if they did make the stipulation, and even they don't make a cheshbon later on. That's because they're moichel to each other, whatever the excesses are.